channel with me, JB. I hope we're all doing extremely well this evening. I know many of us are not doing extremely well this evening. Look, there's plenty to get into tonight. If it's the first time to the channel, look, this channel is about respect, so please respect the community. Please respect me. Please respect the moderators. Please respect yourselves. Otherwise, the ban hammer comes out. We don't like doing it, but we absolutely will do it. You know, it's all about respect. We don't mind banter. We absolutely don't mind banter, as long as we don't get too personal. You know, and as long as everything is in good spirits, we don't mind rival fans. I'm sure we're going to get rival fans tonight on here as well. Giving this banter club the banter that it deserves, not the fans, the club. So look, there are some vile people out there tonight as well. But look, we're going to get into it tonight. This is a different sort of match reaction tonight. We don't do screaming and shouting. Dino says, well, another write-off season, JB. Yes, Dino. And again, I want your opinions on everything United tonight. Second thing to say is, look, I am not a dictator of this chat. You guys get your opinion on here. I read out the chats. So if you are thinking about putting in a little narky chat, just be warned, I do try to read out your chats as well. This community is about respect, and I respect that opinion, even if we don't agree. I will interact with your chats as well, so it's really, really important for me, for you guys to get your opinions out there, and this is what this channel is all about. So one of the first things to say is, look, you tell me tonight. But one of the things I wanted to ask you guys tonight, now I've not seen any reactions tonight. I've purposefully kept away from it. If you guys watch other channels, let me know. I can only imagine there are lots of people shouting and screaming tonight. One of the things you're not going to get on this channel is you're not going to get me screaming and shouting just for clicks. You're not going to get me screaming and shouting because I don't know where that solves. Look, you guys are going to be angry tonight as it is. You don't need for me to be getting angry. There's no point in me shouting and screaming tonight. I'll give you my opinions on the season. I'll give you my opinions on this game. You guys let me know about your opinions. But look, this is, if you want a normal show where you can come on and chat without somebody sitting there screaming, and I can name names tonight, I'm not going to do that. So, you know, look, if you want an adult chat tonight, if you want an adult, that sounds so wrong, doesn't it? If you want an adult chat, call this number. No, look, if you want an adult chat tonight about different stuff, this is your show tonight. This really is your show tonight. Let me know. Just come on with your stuff, and I will read it out the chats tonight. Where are we? The first things to say, and I don't do thumbnails that are clickbait, right? Wherever I put on the thumbnails, I wholeheartedly believe it, right? I believed for the longest time that this club would be able to, as soon as it found the right owners. Ryan says, chat, good evening, Ryan. I hope you are doing extremely well, buddy. Oh my God, what a shit show we're in. Nicky T, welcome to the chat, people. Look, I'll give you my opinion on this, and you tell me. Wildwood says, Amrin was rebuilding this team. Best attack in the league. He needed investment, and they could have had a title challenge. Now, look, I don't agree with the last bit just yet. I thought we were a couple of seasons away from that. But why world? We've been saying on this channel since pre-season, right? Bateman says, are you ready? Ready for what, mate? Bring it on. I've been saying since pre-season, we've covered pretty much every single game on this channel, right? I have watched every pre-season game. I've been up till God knows what time in the morning watching the pre-season games. And I've said, since pre-season, we had the same players we had the previous season. I said we're going to finish somewhere between 8th and 10th. Right? Pre-season was abysmal. I always believed, as many of us have on here, Amorim was not the problem. Even after the Grimsby game, I was still the manager in. I was the manager in pretty much until the end. The last couple of press conferences that he did. Now, with hindsight, it was on purpose, but at that point, he needed to go, because he needed to go for his own sanity and mind. Right? Ruben needed to go at that point. But this channel was supported him. When I was getting pelters and we were getting absolute pelters, I always said it's not the system, it's not the back three, it is a combination of the players, it is a combination of this board. What do we see today, people? We saw exactly what the problem is today. The problem are these players, and we will go through the game. The problem are the owners. You look at the team that's been constructed. The owners. You look at the lack of investment. The owners. What you saw today, and I did a show this morning where I said I demand this team win, and the reason why I expected a win today and demanded it is so these players can't get away with it. These players can't get away. There is nowhere for these players to hide today. And look, I'm not calling people out, but if your opinion was it wasn't the players, if it wasn't the players, who is responsible for that today? Is it Fletcher? Is Fletcher responsible for that today? No. Who is responsible for today? There are 3 culprits today who are responsible. 4 culprits who are responsible for that today. The Glazers, INEOS, Willie Wilcox, and the players. Arsenal says, what do United and my wife have in common? You both do a shit job, so no trophies. Arsenal. I was going to say something about you and how many leagues you won, Arsenal? Arsenal 7047. How many leagues you won in the last, since 2003? I say you've not won the league for 23 years. Even United have won a couple of leagues since you've won the league last. All I'm saying, Arsenal 7047 is, look, you've not won the league yet, mate, and you've won the league once. And if you win the league this season, you've won the league once in 23 years. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to what you guys are saying. But look, we've been saying on it, it's not the formation, it wasn't the tactics. These players have gone back to a back 4. Pathetic today. It was like watching. I used to play like that when I was at school, right? When we were in the playground, nobody wanted to defend. Everybody wanted to be a striker, a forward player. Today was so simplistic and basic today. These players can't even play basic. So please tell me, those of you who don't think it is the players, please tell me, whose fault was it today on the pitch? Was it Amorim's fault? Is Amorim still to blame for this? Many of you were saying go back to a back 4. Amorim's played a blinder, right? What I said, and I remember everything that I say. I'm like an elephant. I do not forget the things that I say. I said what Amorim should do is abandon his system, his principles, right? And then what he should then do is say, I'm going to play a back 4. I'm gonna pretend to be your friend, and I'm gonna play a back four. I'm gonna show the world that it's you and not me. And it's a fucking shame that Amron's left before he's got to show the world this today. That's the one major thing for me that I regret today. The one major thing that I regret was on this channel. Check it out. It's all out there to see. I said I want Rubin to abandon his principles and play a back four and go, this is the team. And guess what? He was right. Many of you were right. This team can't even play a back four. And look, you can talk about the AFCON players, right? You can talk about Mbumo, you can talk about Ahmad, you can talk about Mejraoui, we can talk about De Ligt not playing. Those players were here the whole season. These players were here the whole season. These players produced the Grimsby. These players have produced this mess the whole season. We had one game a week. One game a week, and these players still produce that. There is no difference from what I can see to what we've played all season, irrespective of whether these players are here or not. We play the exact same thing. And don't even get me started on Bruno fucking Fernandez. What the fuck was that today? We're talking about a captain. He's back in his number 10 role. Bruno Fernandez, the greatest player that we've ever had, was back in his number 10 role today. What was he doing? What did he do? He did one tackle the whole game. What did Bruno Fernandez do today? What did he do today? This captain, fantastic. That many of you think that Bruno Fernandez is this amazing player. Where was he today? Like, you've got to, and I keep saying this, in the big games that United have to win, where is your captain? He's never there. He disappears. I've got no problem. Bruno used to be a good player. Bruno is done. Bruno is done. Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's injured. There's a surprise. The going gets tough. The going gets tough, right? And the tough should get rough, right? But the going gets tough. Luke Shaw knows he's not making an England squad, and he's injured. I've been saying this, we've said this on this fucking channel all season. The moment Luke Shaw knows he's not in the England side, the moment things go wrong, Bruno Fernandez hides, and he's factually, Bruno Fernandez now is factually the worst captain we've ever had. There is no ifs and buts. Bruno Fernandez is our worst captain we've ever had. Even from a visual perspective, the performances, Bruno Fernandez is the worst captain that we've ever had, and I will not be moved on that. Luke Shaw's gone hiding. He's injured again. Luke Shaw is injured. Luke Shaw is perfectly fine. He's been perfectly fine up until this game, and he's not even on the bench. He's injured because just like Mr. Wilcox, when the going gets tough, they go and hide. And this is what we've got in this team. We've got players who take no responsibility. Shea Lacey today, spoiler alert, right? Shea Lacey was my fucking man of the match. On for 27 minutes. He did more in 27 fucking minutes than most of this team has done all season. The kid was sticking a boot in. The kid was running up and down. The kid was chasing down balls. The kid was leaving his leg on there. The kid got sent off because he was showing some passion. That kid came on for 27 minutes, I think it was that, and showed more passion than the rest of these fucking arsehole players the whole season. But he's the one that gets a red card. What a legend. What an absolute fantastic player. Just an absolute fan. And these players tonight should hold their heads in shame. They should be made to give yet another fucking refund to the match-going fans. I mean, today we were talking about, there was a guy on the show today called Aaron, right? And he basically said, I'm gonna take my kid, right? His kid is 10 years old, right? Taking him to watch that match today. Fucking disgusting. 10 years old. And he's having to watch that shit. These players buzz around, run around. Bruno Fernandez, right? I really believe this, right? Bruno Fernandez walking around that pitch, I think somebody should run onto that pitch and fucking clothesline the prick, because I've had enough of it. I've had enough. You know, you get people who basically invade the pitch. Invade the pitch and fucking take him out. Because what is the point? I don't understand. Bruno Fernandez is the worst captain we've ever had. I don't know what you guys seen him. And I'm not talking about everybody. I do not know. You know, we've got to now start calling this shit out. We've got to start calling the owners out. We've got to start calling the backroom staff out. We've got to start calling these players out. Today is not acceptable. Bruno Fernandez is not a captain. He is supposed to be the leader on the pitch. He is supposed to be the manager on the pitch. Bruno Fernandez is a fucking charlatan. 300k a week. He couldn't inspire anybody. What an absolute waste of fucking space. And he's supposed to be our best player, our star man. Shesko's been called shit. Shesko's been absolutely bombarded. This channel and many of us on here have been defending the kid, right? Yes. Has he been the best? No. But he continues, and we've said once he starts scoring, he's going to be a fantastic player. 22 years old, again, gets absolutely lambasted by this fan base, absolutely destroyed, and he's the only fucker that's scoring. He's the only one that looks like scoring. This team is a shambles, and I think we need to pull our head from our fucking arses and start to realise what the problem is. Because I'm telling you now, it is not Amorim, it is not Fletcher, it's not going to be a Solskjaer, it's not going to be the next coach. It's these fucking players, and it is the backroom staff, and it is the owners of this club that is sinking. This club is sinking. If you look at the Forests, if you look at Leeds, right, we are heading down that path. That is what we are. We are heading down that path. And I'm not necessarily just talking about I'm not just talking about leaving the Premier League. We are mid-table. We are a mid-table team. All season I've been saying we're going to finish between 8th and 10th. Factually, that is what I believe we are. We finished 15th last season. We haven't improved the squad. We've got players that are getting older, and this is getting worse and worse and worse. But yet we almost, every game, we fucking reset. We think we're going to win the next game. And I completely agree that that should be the standard in this club. We think we can win any game. But we forget what's been going on this season. And every game people say, oh, well, we're going to win 2-1. We're going to win 3-1. I hate the fact that I cannot predict a win. I've stopped doing it. Because this team, this club right now is sinking before our eyes. And unless something is done, we are screwed. Let's go on to the chat. In short, defence except Martinez was rubbish. Midfield was non-existent. Attack couldn't hit a barn door. Best player was an 18-year-old kid who got sent off trying to win us the game. Big mistake getting rid of Amorim. We needed plays in Jan. The owner is the problem. CR7 should be president, and then success will come. Amorim needed to go for his well-being. Nicky said we played a team, half were reserves. I do agree, and lost. United are a mess, as Tai. Prince Will says, what did you expect from the under-18 coach? No game plan, no tactics, no pressure on the ball, just kick the ball forward and try to score. And look, Prince, exactly. I had no expectation from Fletcher. This is not on Fletcher. This is nothing to do with Fletcher. This is nothing. Today was those players, those bastard players. I can't stand these players. I just keep saying this time and time again. I can't stand these players. I fucking despise them. I cannot stand these players. And look, I apologise for swearing, but I cannot stand these players. And it bugs me. It bugs the life out of me when people are trying to defend these players. I respect the opinion. And I'm not gonna. I am not that guy. I will not. But it bothers me. I will not defend these players. These players are indefensible. These players are utter. Just They are disgusting. These players are absolutely disgusting. Are you watching the AFCON? No, I'm not. Wilcox must have an egg in his face now. Wilcox, Willie Wilcox, Willie Wilcox. The manager behind the scenes. Wilcox, the guy. Wilcox, the guy that Rio backs. Old brickhead himself. Old brick for a brain himself. His mate at Leeds is a fantastic guy. Rio said that Wilcox, he'd spoken to Wilcox and Wilcox's vision. Wilcox has a dream, and his dream that every United player will play together and they'll hold hands and they'll be this best thing in the entire world. You know, he's going to hire a coach who plays a back three, and then he's going to abandon that plan in the mid-season. He's going to announce that he's the manager to the coach, and he's going to tell him to play a back four. What the fuck? like what is this? You've got Nicky Butt, you've got Paul Scholes there today, mates rates, standing there with Fergie, like Fergie legend, untouchable, right? But you've got fucking mates rates. You've got Paul Scholes, who is a dour as fuck, who literally, I mean, like, you wouldn't want a conversation with him. Nicky Butt there as well. You know, this is the reason why this club fails. It's because we have these ex-player brigade. The probably only ex-player that I would listen to any degree is Keane. And the reason why I would listen to Keane is because Keane slates the club. You're only gonna get the truth from people that don't like something, right? Roy Keane doesn't like Fergie. Doesn't mean that I necessarily listen to his opinions on that. But Keane doesn't like the club. Keane is not a fan. Keane saw playing for this club as a job. That's it. That's why I would listen to Roy Keane. Anybody else, fucking mates rates. You know, Scholesy, Nicky Butt's there. Rio goes, he's their fucking mate. You know, oh yeah, I'm Rio. You know, fucking Hargreaves, like. Always and Hargreaves is a joke. I mean, Hargreaves is a joke, right? Hargreaves literally played for this club for what, 2 or 3 seasons? Got injured, pissed off to City. Like Hargreaves again, you know, Rio. I expect better from Rio. Well, I did, but I don't now. What an absolute joke! Absolute joke. As Sadina says, can come as no great surprise just because we get rid of Amanda. These players are still here. Exactly. It was the players' fault. Exactly. Manchester is blue, says Steve. Look, 10-1, mate. 10-1 is nothing to be sniffed at. Look, don't forget to give us a like, favourite, and subscribe. Just literally give us a like. Give us a like if you despise the Glazers. Give us a like if you like the Glazers. Just give us a like. Original Prematch says these players are just embarrassing themselves at this point. They won't get another good contract anywhere in their lifetimes. Luke Shaw. I mean, Luke Shaw is injured. Luke Shaw has broken medical science this year. Luke Shaw has broken medical science, hasn't missed the game. And the moment Amorim gets sacked, the moment he knows he's not getting into the England squad. Oh, Luke Shaw is done for the season. Luke Shaw is done for the season. He's finished. He's injured again. He wasn't even on the bench. Fuck Luke Shaw. I can't stand the little twat. I've got no time for this anymore. I've got no time for these players who are not up for a fight. Luke Shaw has been through 7 fucking managers. Seven managers. But that's fine. I got told today that Luke Shaw is a great player. He's been fantastic all season. No, he hasn't. Luke Shaw is one of those players that is part of this problem. Wilcox is part of this problem. These people, these players who are the scourge of this club, need to be removed. Dalot, look, Dalot, I don't categorise him in the same as a Shaw and a Fernandez. He's not good enough. He needs to go. These players are the ones that need to go. Casemiro needs to go. Mason Mount, I don't care what people think of Mason Mount. Mason Mount will have a good game when he's fit, but Mason Mount is never fully fit. We've signed a player, we pay him 250k a week. He wears Mason Mount. Look, this is how far this club has fallen, right? We talk about results on the pitch, atrocious. We talk about players. We talk about how the Glazers and INEOS have dragged this club down to a level, right? And then when you take all of that and nobody talks about this, our iconic 7 shirt, the most, and not only is our captain the worst captain that we've had in our fucking history, the Glazers and INEOS have allowed our number 7 shirt to be given to Mason Mount. At the time, they should have known because they bought him with a fucking injury, right? What should have happened this season is take the 7 shirt off him. Why is it, oh, we're going to hurt his feelings. We're going to hurt Mason Mount's feelings. He's getting paid 250k a week. We can't take the number shirt off him because, you know, he's got a sore hip. You know, he gets paid 250k a week, and he's, you know, he really wants to hold on to that iconic shirt. You know, that Best wore, that Cristiano wore. You know, some of our finest ever players wore our iconic shirt. So not only is it bad enough, our stadium's going to have to be obliterated. Our stadium's going to have to be knocked down, by the way, right? So we're going to have to knock down the stadium. Our captain, who's supposed to be the leader on this pitch, is dog shit. We're not winning anything at all. And the last bastion of hope, the last thing that we should have, iconic, the number 7 shirt is with Mason Mount. I mean, if you could literally piss on every single thing that means something to this club, put a lighter to it, burn it, and then piss on it. That's literally what these cretins have done to this club. They've taken, they can't even let us have the number 7 shirt. They've taken the number 7 shirt, poured it full of petrol, set it on fire, and then pissed all over it. Like, everything that makes this club iconic has been eroded. Every single thing that makes this club special, from players, you know, the style of play this season. We've gone to a back 3. I don't blame the coach for it. They've taken everything from us. They've taken our number 7, our captain, our ground, the formation. There is nothing left. We don't have winners. Being a loser is now acceptable. You know, the FA Cup is now considered something that like a cup run. What are we? A cup run team. You know, it's embarrassing. The FA Cup is so important, by the way. I love the FA Cup. But it shouldn't just be the FA Cup. It should be you're pushing for the Champions League. You're pushing for the cups. Not our only hope for this season is an FA Cup run. And not even winning the FA Cup, by the way. An FA Cup run. You know, the only thing, and again, this again just makes me laugh. The only thing that has made this better, and I absolutely despise using another result from another team as a positive spin, right? Crystal Palace, I've got lots of respect for Palace. My wife's family are Palace supporters. I've got friends are as well. The only thing that makes our result even better is the fact that Macclesfield, 14th place in the non-league full of part-time players, beat Palace. And the most ironic thing is that this club wants fucking Glasner. Like, They want a Glasner, and I don't care what anybody says. You can have an unlucky game. The Grimsby game for us, right? We were dog shit. But do you know what? At least we took it to penalties, right? As crap as that was, as embarrassing as that was, Crystal Palace lost to Macclesfield, right? A Premier League team, I don't care if they were subs that played, I don't care if they were the youth players, you were good enough to play for Palace, you're a first teamer. They went to Macclesfield and lost 14th. It's not as if they're even first in their league, they're 14th, right? And this is not a dig at Palace, and we want their manager. You can't make it up. And you're talking about players who have been good for a season and then are bad. Glasner, for me, no fucking chance. Absolutely no chance. There are some things that you do, and I use the analogy, right? If you go for an interview, right, and you're talking and you're doing well, and then as you're about to get up and leave and say goodbye, you literally shit your pants. You shit your pants, you do a massive fart, shit your pants, walk out the room. I don't care how everything before was good. Your interview was amazing. There are some things that you just cannot come back from. Glasner cannot come back from that. Not a chance. Not a chance. And this is what I'm saying. We're going after these coaches as well. Glasner, I don't care. I do not want him. Do not want him. Let's get through your chats. United made history. City bought it. Dave the Red says, hello. Chris says, we need to sign Sergio Ramos. Mate, come on, Chris. Chris, is Ramos going to come in and clear the debt? Is Ramos going to bring back our £800 million that the Glazers paid in an interest? Is Ramos going to come in and fix this team? No. Let's have a proper conversation. Let's have some proper grown-up conversations. I don't want to hear Ramos. I don't want to hear Neymar. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix this? While it says the same awful football we saw under Ten Hag in his last days, no identity, random football. We're back to square one. Look, this is worse. This is worse. Bruno only shows up. Scott is in the house. Trig Trag got the assist. I don't give a flying fuck if Bruno got the assist today. Bruno Fernandez is dog shit. Bruno Fernandez is a stat padder. So fine. So Bruno got an assist today. He was shit. Bruno Fernandez has been awful for the last year. I don't care that he's got an assist today. What does that mean? Bruno, all is forgiven Bruno Fernandez because he got an assist today. Bruno Fernandez is a stat padder. Bruno fitness not great. Nicky T, I'm not accepting anything on him today. Mainly was garbage again. Exactly. It's not Bruno Derek. No. It is Bruno Fernandez. It is Bruno Fernandez. I was running. Keaton once said as Ronan Keenan says, when the going gets tough, the tough. Ronan Keaton. Actually, Ryan, it wasn't Ronan Keaton who said that. It was Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean was the guy that said that. More passion and more energy. Lacey was amazing. I do agree. The thing is, players can't hide anymore. Exactly. United FC out of control. Good evening, all. Bad result. Reds it now. All about the manager tomorrow. Someone says maximum respect. Bullshit performance again. They are wankers. In legend, mate, and I hope you're doing extremely well. EM9 says we complain all the time. We sack a manager and we're in the same shit. And that's it. That's it. The Glazers and INEOS have got us round their finger. We're not pointing the fingers at where it should be. Yes, and I'm angry. I'm angry with the players tonight. Right? I am. I want these gone. But these players didn't buy themselves. These players didn't give themselves the number 7 shirt. The players are a big part of the problem, but they are not the problem. They are on the pitch. The owners are the problem. And you're right, we all complain and we all moan. We want Solskjaer out, Ranić out, Ten Hag out, Amorim out. When is it going to change? When are we going to realise? Because it's almost like a reset. It's almost like a reset every time. When are we going to stop this and say, we know it is not the manager? It is the players. But who buys the players? The players don't buy themselves. Luke Shaw didn't give himself a brand new contract. Rashford didn't give himself a contract. Bruno Fernandez didn't give himself a contract. Peter says, get rid of Fernandez and 50% of your issues in the locker room are solved. Is affecting his team. Peter, I agree with you. And then says, Amorim here, not anymore, and we get even worse performance. Not Bruno, not... Look, Nicky T, I respect the opinion. I respectfully disagree. When Bruno Fernandez was... Look, Nicky, Bruno Fernandez has been 100% all season and still been crap. Make it make sense to me. You obviously... Chris says, I feel your pain. 48-year-old Liverpool fan, went through the 90s losing to Charlton, Wimbledon, anyone FC. I obviously think you're doomed. Look, mate, Chris, welcome to the show, my friend. I mean, look, we are doomed. But look, this is why I've said, if the Glazers and INEOS don't sell, we are doomed. And that is not just me plucking something out of my arse. That is not me, going, oh, we're going to lose. I've seen this time and time again. Liverpool went through it. I saw them. And look, we can talk about different clubs, right? Arsenal went through it. Not as bad as this. They went through it. Liverpool. I mean, people don't seem to realise, right? Liverpool during the 70s and the 80s, I don't think they realised what sort of team they were. Like, they went from winning European Cup, League, to literally, like, 1990 was basically the last league title. I don't think people realise, and I saw I saw the back end of that, right? People don't seem to realise Liverpool's end was catastrophic, right? They still won cups here and there, and we're not learning the lesson of that. For whatever reason, and again, Liverpool fans can tell me, but they went from being the best, and look, they were the best of the best. I mean, we are talking the best of the best here, right? And they went through it, and we in our minds, for whatever reason, think that it wasn't going to happen. We never learnt those lessons. Leeds, and Leeds to a certain degree. Forest, I mean, Nottingham Forest, I mean, and they are a sleeping giant. Leeds, sleeping giant. Aston Villa, they're coming back now, but they're not the team that they were, and we are going down that path. And it is the problem is that our fan base is getting younger and younger now. That you don't remember. I've seen Premier League. I've seen teams come and go. A Blackburn is not the same. But they invested. They went bust. We've been going down this road for years and years and years and years, and we are shackled by the debt. We're now shackled by INEOS and Sir Jim, Wilcox, Omar Barada. We're now shackled in a different way. And I promise you, this is not like a hyperbole. This is not me just, going, oh, we're going to lose. Like, this is serious. Like, this has come to a point whereby there is no money there. The debt is highest it has ever been, and this ownership thinks that this team can get us through. Chris said Harry was a pretty bad captain. I don't disagree with you. Pavdev says the fact it's taking United fans this long to realise something is obvious says about their fans. Look, Pavdev, I disagree. I disagree, my friend. Don't revel. Look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, right? Look, I will read out your chats. What you've got to understand is why aren't fans allowed to dream, right? This fan base has an expectation. I expect to win the league every single season and be in the Champions League, not because I'm a moron, because you've got to set those standards high. You've got to. So why is it wrong for United fans who are an historic club? I would expect Liverpool fans every single season since 1990 to be in a title race. Expect it, because those are the standards that you set. It is a disgusting, it is an awful performance today. Look, have we had worse ones? Yes, but this one today is all on the place. Dave the Red says, JB, 100% right on Bruno. It's sad days for the club when even worse season is over in January. Someone's put 50p in the Prematch. 50p, I was thinking more 5p. He's a wind-up only person. He's annoying as himself. Arsenal. The star was Lacey. Lacey today, what a breath of fucking fresh air today. Lacey was an absolute... Lacey today, right? He showed more in 27 minutes today than this whole team has shown the whole season. What a little gem. What a fantastic player. Lacey, fucking star man. Plague Spark says, truly, United are lost. A good manager who is starting to change us for the better. INEOS will announce the interim tomorrow, I reckon, to try put on. And I said that, Ryan. I've been saying it, mate. Solskjaer's won it, mate. I am. Scott says, if he comes back, I'll be out on the step. United are so bad right now. Spurs are better. Probably. I'd probably argue Wolves are better right now, mate. They're overplayed for players. Don't care about the club. In other news, I'm sick of United with a load of money wasted on shirts. I mean, the kids are embarrassed to and look, and that's the thing, isn't it? Right? This is what this club don't get. This is what the Glazers don't get. And I'm talking, and I'm not just talking about our club here. I'm talking, and look, I've had some messages today that are vile. United fans deserve it. The Glazers are great. Blah 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 blah. Right? We are fans of the club. Why do fans deserve this shit to happen? If City get the 115, right? As many of you will think that this is mental. I don't blame the fans. Yes, the fans are annoying. They're annoying because they win everything. Pisses me off. But the fans haven't done anything. Like Liverpool, if something was to happen to them, it is not the fans. Those players should be playing for the fans. And the fact that you've got a family, kids, mums, that look, it is undefensible. It is disgusting. Plug says it's time to believe the United is cursed. No, disagree, Plug. Disagree. It is not a curse. It is the cancer that is the Glazers. Really, we're so irritating these days, and Roy Keane is sounding like a bitter old man. Arsenal is searching around desperately for his chocolate Champions League medal. I'm about to cancel my subscription. I do not want to watch this rubbish anymore. Arsenal fans can't say anything anyway. They've won. Sod all. The manager acts like an incompetent 12-year-old. Some of the players are disrespectful twats. Padev says, don't think it has anything to do with the players. What a toxic culture. Look, mate, I respect people's opinions. Don't think it has anything to do with the players. What a toxic culture has. How do you think talent comes through and flops, leaves, and is an instant success? No, it's not. It's bollocks. Padev, you're talking bollocks. Talking absolute bollocks. Talking through your arse. The players create the culture. The club is toxic. The club intoxicates these players. I agree. I do agree that this club intoxicates people. Sancho, pile of dog shit. Rashford became toxicated. We've bought so many players that were the wrong type of player, the profile player. You know, Pogba, you know, good player, fits and starts. We bought Luke Shaw. I mean, you know, there's a list of players that we wasted. Van der Beek, Schneiderlin. You know, we've bought so many players. Look, it is a mixture. It is a mixture of players. And if today is indefensible, right? I can agree that there are certain players and this club are toxic. What it shouldn't do is stop you from running. Bruno Fernandez walked all game. So many players walked all game today. Are you telling me that that's toxic culture? Is that toxic culture that stops you from running? So if you're toxic and your job is to run around, tackle and give it everything, that's not toxic club. That's a you problem. Rob says Kino tells it how it is. Reno has been bought. Rio's just, I've got no respect for Rio. Maradonino says Glazers and INEOS need to fuck off out of my club. Yes, agree completely. Kina does tell it like it is, and I agree, it does come across bitter. Luke Shaw is not injured. He has rest. Luke Shaw is not injured. He was rested. Why? No. What you're calling me a goon, you prick. Why is Luke Shaw been rested? No, you twat. Why has he been rested? He's played every game all season, but suddenly he's been rested. Was that for Man City? Has Luke Shaw been rested for Man City, is he? Has Luke Shaw been rested for Arsenal? What the fuck would you rest Luke Shaw for Arsenal? Why would you rest Luke Shaw for City? He's dog shit. Like, rested? Why? Why? What's he going to do against fucking City? City won 10-1. Arsenal, what's he going to do against Arsenal? No, look, rested or not. Why is he rested? He's probably injured. Like, who gives a fuck? I think Neville is the one who infuriates me. Play the kids for the rest of the season. I think Delo is the issue for today's match. You gooing he was rested. No, mate. Don't care. Feel bad for Lacey tonight. Ref could have been better. The first one wasn't a yellow, in my opinion. Why call him a goon? Get some. Look. People can call me what they like. You give it to me, I'll give it back to you. Right? Be respectful. I don't mind the banter. I don't mind you coming back on my opinion. Don't get personal. You prick. Dev versus Luke Shaw's finish was good years ago, and now he's past it. We need to stop signing good on day players. I do agree. Dallo, Shaw, Bruno, Casemiro, Maguire, Mount all need to rip up the contracts and fuck off. I do agree. Ryan, Arsenal sounds good. Brings some Champions League win photos. The chocolate medal, Milwood, and now he's bored again. Mount doesn't look fit. One thing, Amrin, he will not play them if they're not fit. Look, Nicky, Mason Mount is never fit. Like, Mason Mount is never fit. Like, There is no defence of Mason Mount, all right? And what I mean is Mason Mount on his day when he's fit is a wonderful player. Mason Mount, we should not count Mason Mount as a player. Mason Mount will never be fit. I do not accept an excuse of Mason Mount is not fit. He's never fit, Nicky T. He's never fit. And look, I'm not calling you out. Mason Mount is never fit. Mason Mount is done. Mason Mount today, he looks off it because he is off it, because he's injured. He's never fit. Never fit. Rob says, we keep going through all the managers, but it just goes to show if these players not good enough and can't be asked. We've got a whole cabinet to bring you. I have a suspicion that the number 7 shirt was part of his contract. Look, agreed. I don't give a shit. Tell him to fuck off. Pay him. I'd rather pay him. I'd rather pay him to get that shirt off. And every time I see that number 7 shirt on Mason Mount's back is an abomination. Matthew says, in fairness, Scholes and Butt have spoken about Fergie on their podcast. Look, I'm not really digging them out. Well, I am. But look, they're with Fergie, right? Look, put Scholesy and Nicky Butt, whatever you think about them, fine. But my problem is you've got, why aren't these players, you've got these Nicky Butt, Scholes, etc., who want to have a little dig. They never call out the club. They'll quite happily, they'll kind of pseudo call out the club. I get it. But they still get the free tickets. Like they're still on the payroll. And until these players stop going to games and back the fans that they don't back the fans that made them fucking millionaires. They don't back the fans who basically made their careers. They don't back the fans who have been supporting them, who were screaming their names. Why aren't you backing the fans? Giving out the 7 shirt is illegal. I said it would be 2-2, said Scott. Amrin knew we needed new players to strengthen the squad. I do agree with you. Brighton wanted, nobody says we need Ahmad in Burma back ASAP. Cunha looks well off, maybe just me. He seems very overrated at the moment. I think that Bruno Fernandez plays in his position. We didn't need Cunha. Bruno Fernandez plays in his position. We're going to be Everton in the next 10 years. Arsenal are top bottlers. The soul of the club, says David RB, was sold to the Americans. You give a relic of a club left. You need your heart and soul back. Build a team around players who want to be there. Agree, David. Matthew says, I'm minded to do that to Luke Shaw, minus the piss, as he doesn't deserve it. It could have been one of the manager's fault. You do think got accepted the rough and the smooth teams progressed to get stagnant. Exactly. Let me look, because I'm getting some messages here. Let's have a little look. I'm just getting some stuff in. Let me look. Someone said rinsed. Doesn't matter. Got to accept the rough and the smooth teams progress, teams get stagnant. I do agree. Sean Twee said, excuse United. Mohammed says that so Adalo has to be sold. You're right. Everything in the team has gone to wake up United. Has his peck been drinking? Is the team on board, Jackie? Must. Do you think it's possibility the players down tools after what will happen to Amrin? This is a combination of, in my view, this is a combination of, I don't think the players down tools in the sense of they don't want to play anymore. It is their ability. It is the players' ability. This is not a downing of tools. This is the players' limited ability. It is as simple as that. This has got nothing to do with. I don't genuinely look, as much as I can't stand these players, right? I genuinely don't believe that they are down in tools. I don't know if they know how to be a different sort of player. I don't know if they know what a United player is. I think they're so intrinsically linked to this way of playing, they don't have a clue. Let's have a little look. Mid-table in the Premier League is not shit. Magnus, I disagree. I disagree. I do disagree. Look, I'm not. Look, there are certain teams, whether people like it or not, right? There are certain teams that need to aspire for more. Let's just say, let me just give you an example. If you're Wrexham, right, and Wrexham for the next 50 years start winning a league, they get the best players, they get the best stadium, they start setting the standards, right? They are entitled then to want more than the mid-table, right? We are that club right now. Where I agree with you is in the next 10 years, if we are nowhere near that, then we are a mid-table team, and we shall be happy with that. Doesn't mean we can't be unhappy now. It doesn't mean that we have to accept it. But right now, I don't accept it. Doesn't mean in the future that I would sit here and go, our standards are completely gone. You know, when I'm like 60 years old, and I'm like, oh, I remember the day when Scholesy was good and we were a great team. You know, that could be fact. But right here and now, mid-table. Look, if we accept mid-table now, and I accept the mid-table now, the Glazers have won. If I accept mid-table now and go, oh well, do you know what? We played okay today. You know, finishing 5th and 6th isn't that bad. The Glazers have won. The Glazers cannot win. United and in total, we all love Leeds still in the cup. Thanks, mate. 20 years ago, but times change. 20 league titles, 3 Champions Leagues. I don't believe we deserve to win everything right now, even though should beat most teams anyway. We are in the dirt, but we do deserve a team who plays decent football, and also the fans don't deserve it. The fans don't deserve it. Look, to me, a fan, right? But the match-going fans, I mean, look, big up to match-going fans. You know, it's okay for me to sit here in the comfort of the studio. It's okay for me to watch it on the TV. I still pay a subscription. You know, it's still emotion for me. But when you go with your family, when you go and you travel, it's fucking cold out there. It's cold. It's freezing, right? You're paying your money to travel. Because guess what? People don't live there. People don't live there. People travel from around the world, right? People travel to go and watch that team. It's disgusting. Get these players out. People moaning about Amarin and his formation. I said it on other fan channels. I said it's not the formation, it's the players, and they will never. And look, Cake Cadet, we've been saying this on here all fucking season. It is not the formation. It is not the formation. It is not the tactics. It is not the coach. It's these players. And the other reason why fan channels don't, because they don't fucking know. They talk out of their fucking arse. Get a clue. And look, every fucking can get it tonight, because I'm sick and tired of fan channels as well. Like there are so many good channels out there, right? There are also a bunch of shit out there who just talk out their fucking arse and should shut the fuck up. Rumours saying Carrick has definitely got the interim job are going to be announced tomorrow. We wait and see. More drama. Nah. Liverpool didn't win a league for 30 years. Play well but lose a match. Play absolutely dog shit, and then yes, we'll have an issue. It's not winning titles every year. It's about playing, and it is. If we play good football, at least we can be. Exactly. We need to be proud of something, whether we win or lose. This club deserves everything it gets, not the supporters yet. No, agreed. Rubenga says, what the fuck? All play now left United is better play. Like the day McTominay scored a goal for Napoli. This is the affecting the club. Regardless of who you support, you just want a decent performance. Exactly. Highest net spenders in the past 5 years. It's everyone's fault. Get a grip. So Jerry says there are no easy answers to United's problems. They need a solid coach who can tune out these players, because chucking money at problems isn't the answer. Eddie Howe ticks all of the boxes. I do agree with you. Maybe you need to get a grip on something other than your phone. I want the team to play good football, says Scott. Work on stuff even when we get beat and play well. Something to build on. A new stadium will solve everything. Oh my God. Do you have connections at United? I get information. Look, the last pieces of information that I've got, I went with it early on this channel and it was proved correct. I do get bits and bobs. I can't tell you who I get it from. I get stuff every single day. I've had an update tonight. Solskjaer, look, as somebody said there in the chat, Carrick is now doing the rumours. It's about ego. The person that I send me stuff it keeps saying that Solskjaer is basically the favourite. That's what I keep being told. But the caveat to that, as well as what I've been told, is that there are egos involved here. This is not a straightforward thing. That I've been asking questions all night. Solskjaer is still the favourite, but there are egos involved here. The reason it's taking so long is for two reasons. Number one, United want to drag it out, because the longer that they do, they keep you get like the fact that we're talking who's going to be the new coach. Who's going to be the interim coach? Is it going to be Ollie? Is it going to be Carrick? Is it going to be Rooney? Is it going to be Ruud van Nistelrooy? Like, this is not even the manager. Like, Chelsea have already gone and got a new coach. Whatever people think about it, doesn't matter. They've gone and got a coach, yet we're like, who's behind door number 5? It is Carrick. Like, they're making a show of it, because they're basically hoping that this window shuts. We are the 11th, right? There is 20 days left. We're nearly halfway through the window, and we're talking about an interim coach. I don't give a flying fuck who it is. I don't care if my source is right. Great. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Look, it'd be nice if I was to come in here and said, look, guys, our community was right for the 3rd time. I don't care, because what is it going to do? We are writing off a season. All the players are now living at United, better players at other clubs. INEOS, the Glazers out. I do agree. Call out the bad performances. You win or lose. Oh God, Lucky is back. Let's have a little look. We should beat most teams who beat us. In fact, we can't play anymore. The low is shocking. Even Cunha today was out of it. I don't know what's happening, but it's not pretty. This is what happened to Bolton. Eventually, debt comes to get you, just a matter of time. Exactly, Max. Exactly. I think the players are kind of on pressure. let the team play their game, please. Look, they let the team play today. Darren Fletcher played Billy Basic football today. Darren Fletcher played Billy Basic football today. They can't look. I'm not going to call you out, right? But we talk about pressure, right? The players have already moaned and bitched to the media about it's so difficult to play for the club. We get paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, but the pressure too much. The ex-players give us pressure. Oh my God, it's too difficult. We can't do it. Ericsson did an interview a couple of weeks ago. No one's talking about it. He said, "Oh, the pressure was so bad. You know, we won a Carabao Cup and people weren't singing our names. You know, I think the standards are too high because the pressure's too high. You know, we basically won a cup and people weren't chucking us up in the air. People weren't, you know, saying that we were so brilliant. It is an absolute fucking honour to have the pressure playing for this club. Pressure at this club is an honour, right? If you've got pressure because you play Premier League football, you should be thanking your stars. I think it's less than 1% of every player will play professional Premier League football, right? I do not buy the excuse pressure, right? These players don't know what pressure is, right? Pressure of trying to feed your family, pressure of going to work, pressure of having children, pressure of having cancer, pressure of having a family, you know, pressure. You know, life right now is hard. I could give you lots of you know, and these players are moaning the fact they've got to go and play pressure whilst earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. Fuck off. Don't talk to me about pressure. Because it is the pressure you get for playing for this club should be an honour. The pressure means that you have made it. Don't talk about pressure. And look, I'm not calling you out. I'm calling the players out here. Players, a couple of weeks ago, but it all gets forgotten and pushed underneath the carpet. They're moaning about pressure from the media. Fuck off. You don't know what pressure is. There are families out there. And you can say whatever you like about this. Right? There are families out there who, should they be going to games? I don't know. But there are families out there who are financially, you know, not the best off, and they still go to games. You know, look, you can say, well, you know, if they can't afford it, they shouldn't be going to games. But people do. That's life, right? And these players can't even be fucking, and they're moaning about pressure. Playing for this club is so pressurized. Piss off, you bunch of wasters. Like, you don't know what pressure is. All I expect right now is a good performance, and I don't even get that. £80 shirts, God knows what else I buy for this team and get nothing back. Aizen Glinios out random says thoughts on Wilcox and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Oh my God. You're going to get me started on Jason Wilcox, Willie Wilcox. Wilcox, who's, and again, you know this is true. I've been told this as well, by the way, that Wilcox reckons that he is the manager behind the scenes. Wilcox's ego is so big that Wilcox reckons that he is the manager behind the scenes. This is why him and Amarin fell out. Was because Wilcox was instrumental in hiring a coach that played a back three, right? And then decided wasn't really working. These players should really be a back four, and then basically tried to tell the manager to play a back four. What the fuck has it got to do with Wilcox? He's, you know, look, the guy's ego is out of control, right? But yet he is the manager, right? Okay. Amarin gets sacked. Okay. And instead of fronting up to the media, and you could argue that's not something that we do here, the Bundesliga do it. So this guy whose ego is massive, who Rio Ferdinand said, this guy is a great guy. This guy's an amazing guy. He's a good, honest, straight guy. They were teammates together. He spoke to Rio. Rio's given his seal of approval that Willie Wilcox is the man. He's told Rio personally about his plans and his vision. Well, Rio, this is his vision, you cretin. This is his vision. The guy that you're bigging up on your shitty podcast, this is his vision. His vision is to write off a season. His vision is to basically construct a dog shit team. His vision is to play shitty football. His vision is to sack a coach who I think was doing well and then bring in a Fletcher. His vision is now to not pick between Ollie, Carrick and whoever else. Wilcox is a fucking joke. Who is he? Like Wilcox is not best in class. He's friends, Man City friends. Oh, friends, Man City. Omar Barada friends, fucking friends. Oh, friends. We are friends. Let's all be friends. Hand, hold hands. Give each other some of that. We're all friends. Give some of that, and all we're friends. Like it is jobs for the boys. I know you probably can't tell. I think I've probably been on the fence there a bit. So I apologise. And fucking Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I mean, look, this is a guy who is a local lad. At the end of the day, I'm a local lad. I do local things for local people. I've been to Tesco and that Asda. I'm a local lad for local things. I mean, like, it's like there's a TV show called what's it called? What's it called? The League of Gentlemen, right? And there's this bit in it, and he goes, "Hello, Tubbs. This is a local shop for local people. We'll have no trouble here." That is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Like, he's a local lad from the local bit. Why would you? You know the Glazers bought this club on debt. Took a debtless club, right? Put it into £640 million of debt that has now increased, right? Who then has serviced the debt by taking £800 million from the club to pay for their fucking debt. Never paid it off, right? They've also, just to make it worse, they've taken £1 billion out for themselves. So they've cost this club £1.5 billion. In fact, no, they've cost this club £2.5 billion. You're a local lad who loves this team, and you've gotten into bed with us. You are not a fan. You are a cretin. You are a charlatan. The reason why you are here, Sir Jim, is for the regeneration. You are the front man for a Ponzi scheme. The Glazers are the gangsters. You are the front for the Ponzi scheme. You are the fool guy. You are the guy you are the guy facilitating the mafia. You've invested £1.5 billion in here. Oh, great. You've invested in the fucking training ground. Great. You've not done that out of the goodness of your heart, and this is what people don't seem to realise. You've updated your assets, and you get tax breaks. This is a guy whose business in Scotland is failing. What does Sir Jim do? I give you 3 guesses. Does he put his hand in his pocket and give the money himself? Does he, does someone else on the board, they're billionaires as well, do they give money from their pocket? Maybe INEOS are doing so well that they take money from the business and they supply themselves. No. What Sir Jim does, he goes to the taxpayer, and the taxpayer gives him 70 million quid. Then he's still doing shit. And then what does Sir Jim do? does Sir Jim this time put his hand in his pocket and go, look, I built this company up. I'm going to save it. No, 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 no. Gets £150 million of grants. INEOS are £18 billion in debt. This is who we're dealing with. Sir Jim is here as a mouthpiece only. That £1.5 billion invested is going to be worth £6 billion. Guys, you don't get it. Like, some of you just don't quite get that the fact that this regeneration is not just about a stadium. They're going to build 13,000 homes, 300 grand a piece. I can literally work that out now, right? If you've got 13,000 times 300,000, it literally is like three. It doesn't work anymore. Like, that is how much it doesn't work anymore. There are billions to be made, and Sir Jim is here for that. Sir Jim is not here to save the club. Sir Jim is here for your money. Any signings this window? Apologies if I missed the section. I'm not seeing anything on the horizon. No, Matthew. Look, again, I've been saying it's going to be no signings or a Gallagher on loan or a player on loan. There is a reason. And go back. I've been saying this since October. I've been saying this since November. The reason is because of my friend, is because of my source. Has told me that. That's the reason why I say the things that I do, is because I've been told these things, and I've been preaching this for 2 months. Nobody believes me, because it's so easy for channels, for fan channels, to get you to click and go, Belaber's coming and Anderson's coming. They never come in. They're not coming. And Rob says, JB, so how do we fix this mess? We know the owners need to go. For a start, we need better players, but just how can we get back to the glory days? Look, Rob, in my view, I think the wrong plan is to try to replicate what Ferguson did. Never happening, right? You can't replicate it. You can't do it. What we need to do is we need to take lessons from that era and rebuild a new era, right? We need to modernize the academy. We need to get a base. Look, if we can save our home, save our home. We just need to become a club again who are obsessed by winning things. We need to become that club who is obsessed by winning things again. We get the right players. You're not going to get every single player right. And if you're going to back a manager, you back him. You back him. You absolutely back him. And you get the best in class people. If you get the best in class up front, it's a bit like, right? If you go buy something, if you're going to buy, I don't know, a PS5, right? If you go buy a PS5 and there's 3 types of PS5, you've got basic, let's just imagine you've got your basic, that's like 400 quid, right? You've got your PS5, I don't know, Pro, 650, or you then got your PS Pro Ultra version, that's 700 quid, 50 quid more, right? But it's exponentially more, it's exponentially better, but you decide that you go for the middle one that's slightly cheaper because you don't want to spend the extra 50 quid. But by spending that tiny bit more, you get more power, you get the best. This is what we do. Instead of, going to get the best coach and, saying, instead of paying Amarin £7 million a year, right? This guy we can get Jurgen Klopp. No. You go get Jurgen Klopp for 15 million, right? You spend twice as much money, but if he brings you leagues and he brings you Champions League after, that £7 million that you spent is suddenly worth 100 million. Like, we need to just be obsessed with winning. We need to go get the best we can. We need to get the best of the best. We need to be organized. And I think we need to move away from the glory days, because The glory days can come back, but it's a different sort of glory. And he's definitely not a morning glory. Lacey is going to be a superstar. Just hope he doesn't go and his head loses it. While yours beat a manager less than twice a week. They're both rats, random guy. Sub for calling Spade a Spade. Bruno is not the player the majority think he is. Thanks, Ian. Nicky TJB, you think Wilcox will get sacked after pushing for our back four when nobody... No. Wilcox will get sacked when there's no one else to blame. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if there's an uproar over this result and there is a protest, and I'm talking about a big one, Wilcox could be in danger then. Wilcox is not completely safe, by the way. I know that. Wilcox is not completely safe, by the way. There are four guys, and the four guys go like this. They go Amarin, the odd player, Wilcox, Barada. Trust me, Wilcox isn't safe. That's all I'm going to say is Wilcox isn't safe. Good evening to Simon. I don't know what to say about today. We're beaten by a bogey team and a bogey player. Welbeck, let's have a little look. United Planet says ASCII, I can't even pronounce that. Value went from 5 million to 24 million in the last 12 months. Scouted by Barcelona, him and Anderson from Forest, who wants 100 million, a bit much for those two, would conquer midfield in the Premier League for us. Look, respect the opinion, got no problem with that. Anderson and a Belabor, Anderson and this guy, they're not fixing this team, mate. Look, this whole notion. Look, I'm not calling you out on this, right? But there is a conversation that needs to be had here, right? Anderson is not going. Two midfielders are not going to win us a Premier League. They'll make us better. But what about the rest of the squad? We need probably 4 midfielders. It's a bit like having the best windows, the best roof, and your foundations are shit. Like this talk of an Anderson, a Stiller, this kid, and Aguma, it doesn't matter. Is Anderson going to come in and remove the Glazers? Is Anderson going to come in and remove Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Is Anderson going to come in and remove the debt from the club? No. Is Anderson suddenly going to make our defence better? Is Anderson going to come? Is Anderson going to come and turn us into Premier League winners? No, he's not. He's not. This is the point. All this talk again and spin crap of Anderson. Anderson ain't coming. Why would Anderson want to come into this toxic shit show? But look, I don't disagree that we need players, but we need more than that. We need more than that. We need so much more than that. Me and all my boys are United fans. We all have shirts. Boys have full kits. United beddings, bags, all sorts of stuff. I spend God knows how much for this. What a joke. Oh, mate, I feel sorry for you, buddy. I wish I could switch and support another team because of our owners, but United have my heart, so I can't. Look, Nicky T, look, it's difficult when you love something. Look, how I explain this to my other half and kids is this: I've been supporting this club since I knew them. The family comes first, always has, but I've been supporting this club before them. Just don't tell them that. No silverware this season. I don't know where Lucky has so much time in his hands to talk nonsense. Simon says, what a season we've had so far. Injured players, three players away, a manager sacked and humbled out of the cup early. Please smash the like button. Please do. It really does help us out. But should have played Shaw over Delo. No silverware. At least we don't have to hide our silver spoons from Liverpool. Funny players. City conceded that goal is an absolute disgrace. Pep. City conceded that goal is an absolute disgrace. Pep out. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mount wearing 7 feels criminal. It bloody is. Fletcher has done his bit in 2 games. We have drawn to a relegation threatened side and lost in the cup. We lost to a Premier League, unlike Forest and Palace. And look, I don't blame Fletcher at all. Fletcher is absolved of any blame. Look, Fletcher, I respect Fletcher. Fletcher coming into this, I think Fletcher even knows the state of it now. So look, big, massive respect to Fletcher. I think he's done well. Sack the manager, Jason Wilcox now. Me says, as little as I hate to say, Garnacho in 2024 was my number 7, but he snaked us. Look, again, look, guys, you know, I've got no problem with people's opinions. You like players. Garnacho for me was never a 7, but you know, Jim has become Caesar. The only thing missing is the Lions and the Coliseum. Even Carrick or Ollie can't resurrect this club. When is the wake going to be held? Owners taking the P out the fans is criminal. Klopp for United. Help. Glossy says Ugarte should never wear the shirt again. Don't disagree with you. We have Arsenal and City to play. Both clubs will walk all over us. We are paying 75 for Anthony, selling Rashford to Barca for 30. Just that makes no sense. Apparently Rashford's leaving. Rashford is not staying. Rashford is coming back. Watch this space. Watch this space on Rashford. There is a serious, realistic possibility that Marcus Rashford could come back and play for this side again. Barcelona, as it stands, are sending him back. Fans deserve more respect from the owners. I do agree. What's your thoughts about? I don't know, mate. 1 billion spent in the last 4 years, and Fletcher says the team's fragile. 75 for Sheska. And again, you know, and I listened to Fletcher talk as well, and he was saying how, you know, I keep telling these players, you know, the things that they've got to do, you know, the things that they need to improve. These fucking players, what you've got a Fletcher who's the under 18s coach telling first team players, Amarin's all season, Amarin's conference this season was basically this. These players know that they need to do well. They know the things that they need to improve, and they will try to improve them. That was his press conference the whole season. The whole season. Fletcher, I mean, look, these players are disgusting. Nick T says Eric Ten Hag left us with crap players. A guy says, besides the name, we were an average club at most. Just look at the squad. I do agree with you. When everyone is back, available and fit, if you say Ollie at the wheel, who do you think he'll pick as his start 11 with a back 4? Ollie will go Larman's in goal because he's got to. He'll go Adalo. He'll go Maguire might even get a play. No, I think he'll go Luke Shaw left back. I think he'll go Martinez, Delict, Dallo. I think he'll go Casemiro. I think he'll go Kobe Mainu. I think he'll go. But where is Ahmad? Do you know what? That is a really interesting thing. You know. I don't know. I don't think he starts Ahmad. I think he goes Shesko up front. Bruno Fernandez is gonna play, right? Bruno Fernandez is gonna play. So he'll play Casemiro, Mainu, Fernandez, and then he'll play either Mbermo, Ahmad.
He'll play Cunha, Ahmad. He'll play Mount. So I think he will start with Cunha left, Mbeumo right, Shesko up front, Bruno sitting in the middle, and then he'll interchange Ahmad. Wayne says Dalot, Dorgu, Ugarte, not good enough. I don't disagree. Whoever plays, we get a manager. I can't see us getting European football if we get beat the low sides. Fletcher comes across like someone who just unplugged a USB. Fletcher comes across like someone's just unplugged a USB from his backside of things to say for the Glazers. I love it, mate. That's hilarious. Neil says hi. Hello, Neil. I'm 62 and United aren't even a great team. CEO says fans have to boycott the matches. This is the only way that we'll win against the board. Adam says get rid of the clutter. Only 6 of 7 players out of the 20 are worthy. Ugarte, Xerxes, Casemiro need off payroll. Agreed, Adam. 2 midfielders in Cunha plus swap for winger and spread the bank across winger, a full line of defence, and we're all set. Have a little look. Pokedad says need legs in the centre of the pitch. Yes, we do. Maybe I don't belong here. Man's banter or that. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Look, men's banter. We are thick. Men's banter. We look. Men are not intelligent, right? We're not. Our banter is just fucking childish. I swear, bring Eddie Howe in and Tonali and Bruno as well from them. I like Eddie Howe. I do like him. I truly hope Ollie, Carrick, Rude, and X players turn down the role. Do you know what? I think that I don't disagree with that. I think that would be a big change, but it's not going to happen. Sean says we need Ollie. Less to pay for in the window, not Glasner after he got humbled. Do we really want Glasner after the FA Cup? No, not for me. Not for me. There are things in life you do that you cannot take back and you can't recover from. Glasner, I'm sorry, I do not, and I don't care. Macclesfield are 14th in the National League, right? They are not even first place. They're 14th. Unacceptable. I do not want to coach who I don't care if it's his first game, his 1000th game. I do not want to coach who loses to me. It's the biggest upset in FA Cup history. It is the biggest giant killing in FA Cup history. It would be so United to go and do that deal. Glasner can fuck off. Man City better sit down. Ender, no, I'll never sit down. Man City are better. That's a fact. I'll never sit down. I will never sit down. Tech says relegation may do you some good. It won't. The Glazers will love it. The Glazers will love a relegation. They will love it. Jim James says, what's under Busby? This club is ridiculous. Yes, O is behind number 5. Just get a manager. Jim James, mate, watching under Busby, legend. Absolute legend. Jim James, nothing else for you. Watching under the Busbys, you are a legend. No manager and no players all out. That's their jobs. What are they doing now? Just sat around watching the games. They need to be fired. They can't handle their own jobs. Leewood says, I went today. Leewood, I went today as I do every game, and it's so poor we need to change from top to the bottom because everything's rotten, and it pains me to say it as a season ticket holder. Leewood, legend. I always say this on here, a fan is a fan is a fan. Massive respect for the match going fans like Leewood. Leewood, mate, you go to the game today, mate. You pay your money, you take your time, you go out, it's cold, it's freezing. and you watch that today, Leewood. I've always. It's interesting. It's interesting to hear so many people, right? But listening to match going fans to know what it's like from that ground. And Leewood, mate, look, Leewood, you've got my massive respect, my friend. And look, it must be horrific, buddy. Awful. Pride in the Bad doesn't do it anymore. Jesus. I ain't doing that. No offense, mate, but I don't think you understand the pressure of 60,000 people surrounding you, baying for your blood. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Mate, you're earning 300k a week, and you're paying and you're playing for the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the entire world. Pressure. Are you joking me? Pressure. They get paid 300 grand, adored by fans. They get the honor of wearing this badge. If the pressure of the fans can't pump you up, fuck off, mate. I've got no time. Oh, you don't know what it's like to play under 60,000 people all booing at you. It's fucking hard. You get paid millions of pounds a year. You get sponsorship deals. You get to live in mansions, and all you've got to do all week is train and run around in front of 60,000 fans for 90 minutes who are calling your name when you do things right. Oh my God, the pressure, Ed, the pressure, mate. The pressure's so terrible. You know, you can basically then go and console yourself in your mansion. Oh my God, it's so hard, Ed. Mate, it's so hard. You know, now you've put it, Ed, in that context. Now you've told me I've seen the error of my ways. The pressure of playing for this club is so difficult. Oh no. The owners have listened to an idiot on the board known as Wilcox. Exactly. My son would give his right leg to play for United. I mean, he would give his right leg, so he wouldn't be good. If you get, sorry, it's another bad season. Injured players. At the AFCON, the manager sacked. Gregor says, hi. Hello, Gregor, legend. Larman's 15 matches and conceded 21 goals. It's unacceptable at this level. No. Look, media, I am not having that, mate. Look, I respect the opinion. I will read out the comment. I am not having that. I'm not having Larman's being thrown under the bus. Have you seen the saves that he's made? I'm sorry. I'm not having this. I'm not having a rhetoric started now on Larman's. What are we going to do, media? Are we going to now start blaming players? Are we now going to start burning through these young players? Larman's is not responsible. Have you seen some of the world-class saves that he's made? I'm sorry. Don't start a rhetoric on Larman's, because I'm not fucking having it. Because what are we going to do now? Are we going to start to burn fucking Lacey? I know. Let's just have a pop at Lacey today, shall we? You know, fucking kid got fucking sent off. Like, Larman's, look, the reason why Larman's has conceded these goals is because our defence is shit. We've got no fucking midfield. Larman's has actually made some world-class saves this season. I am not having a fucking rhetoric now on the goalkeeper. No. Esra says, if you can't take the pressure, get off of your phone and social media and stick to training. Yes, exactly. If you don't like the pressure of Man United, then fuck off. Willie Wilcox sounds better than Jason. That's his name, Willie Wilcox. The Blue Nose Biker says, hello JB, happy new year, and to you, my friend, same shit in it, mate. Do you think the culture is the problem? Not when Fletcher gets interim, he says, but yeah, it is. Look, it is this club. This club is synonymous now. The best in class has gone. we are now basically a laughing stock. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding this. This club is finished. This club is done. Unless something happens, unless a sale is forced, we're done. We're done. Look, I've put a petition. Look, people may not give a shit, but I have put a petition out there. Now, the petition has gone through. I need to wait a while, and if it's been accepted, I'm going to put the petition on here, and hopefully I can get as many signatures on it as we possibly can. The club is hung up on him. Someone says, as Fraser from Dad's, I would say we're doomed. My greengrocer will have a field day tomorrow, and he's Arsenal scum. Barada is just as bad, if not worse. He wanted Amrin. Ashworth was sacked. Wilcox sided with him, and Amrin. Enough with look. I don't mention Omar enough. Barada is a fucking idiot as well. Look, they all are. Barada, Wilcox. It's just a joke. William says we are low caliber team with about 25% quality, 75% mediocrity, too many average players, and little or no real on-field leadership. Leeward says Rio says it's so he can keep having freebies. Exactly. Wilcox says Walter Mitty syndrome. Jesus, I'm watching Mark Garbage. No, you're not. Mark is a complete twat. JB here is not. End of comparison. Thank you. If you could get any manager, who would you go for? I would probably go for Enrique, Conte. I want somebody who's going to work these players. I want somebody who's going to absolutely destroy these players. I probably think, I probably think, and Enrique, I think, would probably be the guy. Thanks, Scotty. Never mind, Jim will fix it. I'd rather no. I was gonna say something then, but I'm not gonna say it because probably be banned. Jim will complete effort into oblivion, sack the dinner lady. That's the Jim that we've got. No, I was going to ask you, what Jim would you prefer to have? Would you prefer to have the Ratcliffe or the other one? I'm not going to say it out loud. Question completely ignored, obviously. What question is that? Can run a marathon faster than Mo Farah but has a wheelchair. The Glazers are hardly Marlon Brando, the Godfather characters. Fuck, I think I've missed tons. Delete the club at this point. Why don't I understand about these greedy wankers is if they want money, appoint the best, become the best on the pitch, and watch the money come in. Exactly. Dividends are just, let's have a little look. Keep going. 3.9 billion. Ridiculous. No decent players incoming. We have got to repair this broken club. Not even the repair shop can help. No one is making this club great with Sir Jim at the helm. Agree with you, Kirk. An impassioned rant about the owners. I love it. Look, I can't help it. Niche fans are in the mood. Guess where they're going to be soon. When people say we've already tried a Galactico approach and players, managers, no, we haven't. We go for hype and not best in class. That is the difference. I think you make a good point there. I won't be surprised if our new sponsor is Poundland and we get a manager from the branch. Wilcox and Omar haven't got a clue. Can barely type English either. No offense, just stating the obvious. Wilcox should resign. I do agree with that. Wilcox out. I feel myself becoming horrible. I blame it on football. I blame everything else on it as well. And so you should. Alex Murphy says it's 400, 650, 700. Nobody buying the 651. We pay on finance. Hi, it's embarrassing the loss today. Yes, Adam, you are spot on. Bam says, I'm just joining. Look, mate, no need to apologise at all. The whole team needs to be binned. Carragher's interim and then Enrique in the summer. The other clubs will get the players, and we've been trying to get much quicker. Well, you look at Semenyo, like Semenyo, right? He must be thanking his lucky stars. He went to City, he scored a goal, and they won 10-1. Anderson and Wharton are not coming. I agree with you. We need a new goalkeeper. Centre backs, 2 full backs, 5 midfielders, 2 wingers, a striker. I'm not going to disagree with that. Anderson will stay at Forest until another club comes along. Living in a dreamland. The past are also delusional. Neville talking shy, acting as though you're supposed to still be winning. The good old days are over. You're a mediocre team. And live with it. Look, Ed, don't mind the hostility, my friend. That's your view. I don't. I share part of it. But Ed McKay, if you don't understand about this club and you don't understand the standards, it's standards. It's there's no point in me explaining it to you, because if you don't know the club and you don't know the standards, there are standards that need to be set. We have to have standards. It's not about we should be winning things, but it's not a, oh, I'm pissed off because we've not won a league or whatever. I am annoyed, but we don't even have those standards anymore. And Ed, no, I will not live with it, because the moment we just go, fuck it, we're a middle team. No, we're not. We're not, and I will never accept it. I will never, because the moment you accept it, the Glazers have won. The moment you accept it, unless we put, like, I don't give a fuck, right, Ed? You can come on here and you can start saying I was shit and that. It goes over my head. It doesn't mean every single United fan could come at me and say we are shit, we don't care anymore. I don't care. I will always hold this club to account, because if we don't, the Glazers have won, and I will never let those fuckers win. So it's clear now that Amrin tactics are not the issue. The board deserves to be fired. Sack them all. I do agree with you. Go and take a pill and find a rave, says Scott. You seem like a mediocre person, but no one's complaining. INEOS and Wilcox are as good as a one-legged man in a butt-kicking competition. No Amrin's tactics style linger. Fletcher was never going to weed it all out in less than a week. I've got to go, but I don't want to miss anything. This chat is somewhat entertaining. Legend. Is Darren's father Norman Stanley? He wasn't nasty, but my God, he didn't know when to stop typing. There's only one common, exactly, Bubble. It is the Glazers. Fletcher out. The guy, Fletcher out. Has Dalot outlasted Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw has lasted more. Rashford is diabolical. Dalot must give. Scott, you cracked me up. Bring Rashford back after his carry on. The club looks so weak. He's a joke. Either that or yeah. These players play for United but aren't United players. I do agree with you. Does Rashford even deserve his MBE? I mean, look, careful. Otherwise, you will have the Rashford brigade on you. Pointless bringing him back if his heart isn't in it. Red could be deathly. Whoever knows. Polywell says, "Will you only shave your beard if United win?" No. Because I've got to go to work, and my beard will be disgusting, mate. No, my beard will be out there. Mount is an average player, and he's our 7. Not blaming him, but that suggests maybe we deserve to be. Why the fuck are you still talking about the dead manager is gone? Why the F are you still talking about the dead manager? He's gone. Stop it. No, Mark. No, Mark. If you don't like it and you're not going to be part of this conversation, Mark, piss off. Look, mate, I've got no time tonight. I respect opinion, and I respect opinion that is moving this debate on. Don't tell me to stop. Don't tell this community to stop. You stop and fuck off. Stephen says, "Are you guys winding me up? Is Ollie coming back?" It looks like he is. Nobody says it is, but I'm a 35-year-old mother. I feel I should be more mature in this situation. No, nobody. No, you don't need to be mature. Be as immature. Be as look. I'm a father of 3. Don't ever be serious. Life is too short. In this situation, don't be serious. Let's have a little look. Oh, well, we're basically the same. Fuck it, let's continue. Our team's shit. I mean, might as well laugh for something. Exactly. Sup. Hope everyone is holding up okay. Tony, legend, my friend. Scott says, I'm as thick as the day's long, but arm's funny. Now, Scott, mate, you're a legend, buddy. Everything from top to bottom. I can't really talk. Everything from top to bottom needs to go from our club. I go to every game, but it's testing my patience. Leeward, mate, you are a better man than me. National League North says Reef. I have days. Carrig until we get Enrique. Wake up, fine, but night is absolute carnage. Tony says, keep your heads up. We are united. Look, mate, I love the message. Has to be Southgate. Jesus Christ. If we all agree Amron should have been sacked after Grimsby, therefore Gladness should never been hired after Macclesfield. I don't agree. Mm-mm. I take the point, but I don't agree. It's a completely different thing. Look, losing to Grimsby is bad enough. It's bad enough. Losing to Macclesfield is exponentially worse. IGN says, I'm watching from the Ivory Coast. Welcome, my friend. Typical, we chase Semenyo, he signs for City and he scores. Eddie Howe, I like Eddie Howe. Thomas Frank would be a good temporary fix. Don't think he would. Nice to see you keeping favourites. Hopefully Spurs get beat by West Ham and Frank can sign for United until the end of the summer. Thomas Frank, yeah. Thomas Frank, not for me, mate. Not for me. Steve Harrington says, "What's the latest, mate?" We've yeah. All you need to know, Steve, is this: it's a big bag of shit. What would be good? Jim fixes Jim. Scott, I think that's the wrong sort of Jim, mate. Look, CEO saying Thomas Frank would flourish. Leaving Spurs would be a blessing for him, and Spurs isn't under pressure. Not for me. Maybe men are more about football than women. What do I know? No. No. We just talk a good game. No. Might as well get Frank Gallagher as the manager. Pressure is BS. They're well compensated and should stay offline. Clubs should reduce the media. JB, like you said before, players have a fantastic life, and as fans work hard for their strike. Did I say I would Southgate? I don't think I do. In fact, I say the opposite. Boycott of matches and the merchandise is the only way for the board to react and sell up. The loss was on Dallo. Larmans is the one thing INEOS have done right. Larmans has been a far better keeper than Binder and Nana. People does gaming. Hello, my friend. Let it out. Nobody. Who is nobody? I couldn't even compare Larmans to Nana. Thomas Frank is a must. Thomas Frank has inherited a crappy team. Look, it interests me, the debate actually on Frank. What about Eric Ten Hag? Fucking hell. Thomas Frank is not the man. He's stepped up from Brentford for Spurs, and where are they now? The CEO, he must keep clear of Spurs. Rooney's right players are not good enough, Michael. I do agree with you, my friend. I don't need any past play connections. It doesn't work. Happy wife, happy life. That is a truer statement never been spoken. Nobody. A happy wife is a happy life. Wayne Rooney's brother might be in the running for the job. You would work then, JB. Mate, I'd work, mate. I'd be a great coach. You wouldn't give anyone enough time, says Ian. Enrique would be a dream. Does well with the youth. Jim Bowen, a little Jim JB, Jim Royal. I love it. Jim Davidson, guys, you are cracking me up. Regarding getting a manager, it's like putting together a jigsaw. We just need the right missing piece. Jim will fix it. Jim Carey. Neo Tribe says, I don't know what is going on with the Manchester players. Why don't Sir Alex take it one more for the season? Because Sir Alex can't do it, mate. I don't think you realise how old he is, and he fell down the stairs, mate. The guy can't do it. The guy can't do it. Jim Carey. I can go on all night. Jimmy Cagney. The Sam podcast says that Bruno is done, and I wouldn't blame him. Stallone needs to be sold. Neville and Carragher as assistant. If dreams really come true, United would announce a new manager. Ace Ventura, the pet detective. Ratcliffe should let the Arab billionaire take care of United. Listen, I'm gonna leave you do that one. You sold your identity when you started to allow prima donnas like Rashford and Maguire to be leaders in your squad. Seasons later, still trying to repair a square wheel. Let's have a little look. Can't wait for the Ollie era. Three at the back, 4 at the back. United are out of another cup in the first game. Justice for Amarin Ball. I don't disagree with that. Ian says he's going to take a special coach to fix this. Not even Jim could fix this. I'm late. What was the score today? Ian Beefcake. It was 2-1. I would like to see Wilcox on The Apprentice and hear Alan Sugar say you're fired. Rashford does deserve his MBE. What does CEO stand for? I'll let you guys go for that. Sir Jackie. Hey. What do gay horses eat? Hey. Oh, I love it. Taffy Mackham says, wake up and smell the Wilcox. I'm loving all this, guys. This is legendary status. CEO, what does that stand for? It stands for it stands for Chief Executive Officer, but it could stand for I'm not going to say it because it could be it would be gross. Sacking a bloke for 30 million to hire a bloke you just paid out, not giving him the role is wild. I've got my thoughts. Let's see if I'm right. I'm being distracted by Saving Private Ryan. Paul James Owens, legend, says that was an absolute disgrace tonight. How can they sleep at night? It's beyond me. Fans should be much more vocal than they were. This is the problem. I was there with the boys and nobody was bothered. And Paul James Owen is a legend of the channel. Another match going fan. Look, Paul, it is disgusting. It is absolute. Look, I don't know how we wake this community up. And I'm not just talking about this one because, I think we are pretty much right. I don't understand
what it's going to take for action. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'd be surprised today if we do beat Arsenal City. Nah, we're not beating them. If anyone has the audacity to insult Saving Private Ryan, I would lose the will to live. No, it is a fantastic film. That is a really, really good film. Yeah. FYI, you are getting Southgate. Thanks, mate. United will get nowhere carrying on like this. They need new owners, new boardroom, and a total clear out. Taffy says your team doesn't look too far away. It's the toxic toxicity behind the scene. Wilcox is scamming everyone. Rafa Benitez to make the team stable. I just love saying Private Ryan. I mean, the chat is entertaining, but the soldiers are distracting. City scored 10 and none from Haaland. Anthony says, Crystal Palace manager, no thank you. The Glazers out. You're drooling over Vin Diesel. Thoughts on Ollie? It's embarrassing. My thoughts on Ollie are this. It is embarrassing. We sacked him for 10 million and then we're going to rehire him. Ollie is not the answer. Ollie is not the answer. Will Ollie bring back the feel-good factor? Will it be better than Fletcher? No, it's not going to be. The fact that we're even having a conversation about who's going to win the interim fucking manager race is abysmal. It is abysmal. Even men should drool over Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is not my type. Vin Diesel he's not my type. Now we're out of the cup tie to focus on getting a new manager and getting points on the board. Always look on the bright side of life. Skating on thin ice. Let Fergie live the rest of his days in peace. Exactly. Italian manager Jim Ten Hagio, favourite to become the next manager. Ian Wu, you're a legend, mate. Chalky says the Glazers and Jim will not sell anytime soon. I'm tired of this board. Need to go. They do. The FA Cup is like the lottery. You win or not, then you just think tomorrow is another day. I'm intrigued by the Carrick experiment. I'm finished looking at United fan lives. It is monotonous. Then Six Buds piss off. Look, Six Buds. I don't get it, right? I don't get it, right? Do you know what is monotonous? Is people that come onto these channels, right? If you don't like it, go and find your own channels. And the reason why you can't find your own channels is because you ain't got any. Like, all you want to do is go, oh, fucking United is just another channel. He's a prick, bloody, bloody, blah. Six Buds, look, mate, it's fucking Sunday, right? Go to bed. It is 7 minutes past 12 on a Monday morning. Go to bed, mate. Relax. Go to fucking bed and chill out. Wilcox wouldn't survive on the weakest link. Palace manager, no friction burns. Jesus Christ. What's worse? Liverpool slump or United, mate, we're always a joke, mate. United's manager choice is worse. Palace manager, not for me. Watching Barada and Wilcox appoint a good manager. It's like watching the Duffer brothers write a good ending. We'll end up with Southgate. Midge says everyone in Yorkshire is laughing at the scum. And look, Midge, we don't mind that, mate. We don't mind that sort of banter. Absolutely no issue at all, my friend. Look at yesterday. I agree. Billy Chris says hi, hello, buddy. Plenty of other games. Formation, lots of things is a note. Rude had the feel-good factor for his 4 games. Then he went to Leicester and flopped. Glasner is a no from me, but I'm just like me. Like my name, I'm nobody. Diego says, at least you don't have Gyökeres playing up front. Glasner is a must on the option list. Not for me. I hate United, but football is football, says Ian. No other manager will come to United. You can't force an elite to come anymore. United have nothing to play for. Big Sam is the only man that can save United.
I'm an Arsenal fan, and I don't even rate Martinelli, Odegaard, Gyökeres, but I hope we'll be able to get over the line this season. Somehow the club will get back on its feet, but right now it's like a lame horse. A Liverpool fan here, just here saying, in case the manager choice is worse than this, obvious. The Glazers are the issue. I honestly miss Vidic Torres days. Look, mate, appreciate it. I think we all miss those days as well. SS Red says, I love United, always will. I just don't like them. I hope that makes sense. Look, SS Red, I'm in the completely same boat. I can't fucking stand this team right now, but doesn't mean that I'm not going to support the club. I think most of them live in Yorkshire, to be fair. JB, keep the kids safe. See, I can't do it. Look, guys, the time has flown by. I do have work in the morning. We didn't even get through the match stuff there. Look, really quickly to get through the game. I can sum up the game now. It was shit. That's all I'm going to say in it. Lacey today, easy peasy. His 27 cameo today was the best thing that happened. So look, guys, I will be back tomorrow. You guys are legends. Look, thank you for tonight's stream. Absolutely. Look, as crap as the match was today, you guys tonight have made my evening absolutely amazing. You are all legends. It doesn't matter if you support the club or not. I appreciate the community. You guys are legends. Look, fantastic stream. It's a shame it couldn't be more positive for a win, but look, we have to go again, and we will find out the manager this week. I've still been told Ollie, but let's see how that develops tomorrow. So look, guys, I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much, those of you who watched the stream with me today. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight as well. You know, it is a really tough thing right now to support this club. It's really difficult thing to do. It is really hard. But look, at least we've got this community, right? You know, and yeah, look, guys. So thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I will be back tomorrow. I'm JB. This is the United Devil channel. Just legends, and I will be back tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.